time.
I don't know.
First time
Man,
I hit you.
it's messed up.
What
Multiple
the heck?
Hayos. We had a problem with the recording on OBS, so hence
We
the
did?
second. I did, yeah. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm Judge James.
I'm Judge Evie.
This is Living for Crits.
Yes, it is.
It's been a week, and I'm sorry. I did send out a thing on Twitter and on Facebook that for at least the time being, the Thursday night reviews are kind of on hold, mostly due to just a lot of stuff going on through the week that has made it a little bit challenging for me to get the Thursday review out on Thursday night. My actual work, my real life has kicked up a notch. So with that, it's made things a little bit challenging for scheduling. But we're still here on Sundays. So Shannon's with us, Greg's with us. A few more people are with us that aren't talking. You guys can always talk in the stream chat if you want. Send us questions. Today's episode or show is going to be pretty chill.
Chill.
Kind of laid back.
Chill.
And we're going to start with discussing gaming this week. We started...
Fun fact section.
In a second, we'll get to that. We started this week with Grimtooth Trapsylvania, a DCC RPG compatible...
I don't even want to model that.
You don't want to hold it? It's a setting / sourcebook / adventure / everything for Grimtooth, the dastardly trap troll of awesomeness. And this book here is a source book for trap locations, for Grimtooth's traps locations throughout his entire fun land.
Fun.
Which we'll be talking about this as the main theme of tonight's show. Oh, Daddy Pasta's here, so Josh is here. Josh. We also did some gaming as a family on Friday night playing Xcrawl on the Switch.
And we played Just Dance.
I fell asleep during that, didn't I?
No, you went upstairs to get a drink, came downstairs, passed out on the couch, and then I was on a FaceTime with Bab and John, and we were sitting next to you for an hour trying to wake you up, and no one could do it.
I don't remember any of this.
You don't remember any of this?
No.
You kept going, go away, 5 more minutes, and then you would cover back up, and then it'd be 5 minutes later, and you'd be like,
woken from a nap. It was a nap.
It was a 1 a.m. nap.
I wanted
to play Minecraft down here in peace until 4 a.m, and you wouldn't let me.
The other thing is I discovered Skyrim finally this week. I started playing Skyrim on the Switch.
That's what you've been playing?
Yeah.
Oh.
It seems kind of fun. It looks like a pretty good game. I bet when it first came out it was pretty popular, right?
You're a noob. They call you a noob.
I don't care what he says. Rob. He says whatever he wants. All right. So, he's purchased it 6 times. That's a lot of times to buy one game. I bought it twice. Once on the PC, and I never got to playing it, and then once on the Switch. Thought I'd start with some fun facts today.
Fun facts.
In light of, recent events, I thought I'd say that if you are playing a game that has hit point totals, if you don't track your hit point totals, your characters will never die. And who wants to wear too much armor because it makes your character look bad, right?
What?
That's exactly what I keep saying at all these folks not wearing masks. I thought we would share a little bit today, just briefly, about things that we're still doing as a family. Maybe in the hopes that if you're not doing these, maybe you start aligning yourself to doing more of these. Because right now the case count in the United States is shooting through the roof. And we are, as a family, still socially distancing. We are wearing masks whenever we leave our yard. You and your friends had a yard party yesterday where you all were 10 feet apart but had your masks on for hours. So, and it was hot as heck yesterday, and you still had your masks on. We are refraining from public gatherings, no matter what the size is, especially since I am back to work and have to be at work in person, again. And occasionally I have to pass people who aren't either socially distancing or aren't covered up, and I could carry it and make someone sick. I don't want to assume that when I was sick in the end of March that I had it. Even though I tested negative, I'm still have my suspicions, but I can't make any assumptions. We are still ordering our groceries by delivery or for pickup, and we are generously tipping our Instacart shoppers. If you are using Instacart or any kind of shopping tool like that, please tip your shopper. And if there is no tipping mechanism, like Wegmans doesn't have a tipping mechanism, we always text our shopper and ask for their Venmo, and we will Venmo them their tip so that they get tipped. And tip them well, because they're out there working every day, putting themselves on the line for it. We still wash our groceries. I don't care how much they say that on TV, how it's not as much of a risk. It's still a risk, and therefore we wash them. We refrain from ordering takeout of any kind. I know that a lot of you still do takeout, and a lot of you have no problem getting food deliveries that you're opening right then and there and eating out of these packages. Like, we still wash everything, obviously. You can't wash a bucket of KFC. Not that I'll eat a bucket of KFC because I don't eat meat, but you can't.
KFC just fine.
You can't wash that. So I'm still not doing it. That's us. What else aren't we doing? We're still staging quarantine areas for non-perishables, mail, and other deliveries. If it comes to our house from Amazon, it waits 3 days before we open it. I know that sounds crazy. That's what we're still doing. We connect as much as we can online with people. We're doing Zoom chats multiple nights a week with either my parents or friends. We did Zoom karaoke on Friday, an open mic night that my new friend Maitre put together with a bunch of her friends. I did that. I sung 3 songs. It was a lot of fun. What else are we doing? And we're gaming as much as possible. If you're watching this, you are most likely a gamer, which means you are built and designed for surviving the apocalypse by gaming and being together that way. So please, just, we are sucking at this. We're not doing a good job at this. I know people want to just say, hey, it's my freedom not to wear a mask. Okay, I get it, but you're right. It is, until there's a law, it is your freedom. But why are you being it's that one meme, like, I don't know how to explain to you that you should care about people. I just don't get. I don't get why people can't get this down. And I'm going to guess that our viewers and whatnot, for the most part, if you're watching my stuff, you know which way we lean on a lot of our thoughts. But, I mean, come on, folks. But I say this. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just get a mask that looks really snazzy. Like, I just got an Adam Driver mask. Well, it's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
But, just get one.
And I have a mask for The Strange, and a mask for Numenera, and a mask for Shadow the Demon Lord coming.
Yes, just get a snazzy mask.
Rob says, it's a quote, "The refusal of millions of Americans to wear masks is the lethal result of decades of selling folks on freedom without responsibility." Will Bunch. It's a good quote. Everything we do, you drive a car, there are, stop signs, and there are traffic lights. It's there, to protect the people from your car. So I don't know. I don't want to lecture everybody, but I'm using this time because I do have, while albeit a small platform, we have some platform to spread our word. I would suggest you keep doing the same. There are too many people out there that get their information from places that just tell them, do whatever you want. I think the problem with this is that the mask protects others from you, and too many people think, well, I'm not sick, I don't have it, and therefore I don't have to worry about getting you sick, and the fact that you do. You have to. Besides the fact that you set a good example. So, lecture over. Let's move into Judge Evie Presides.
We have a question.
We have a question from Josh.
I was gonna do a spin.
And then I have a question for Evie that I'm gonna ask her. But let's do Josh's question first.
So, John.
Remember, you can always send questions to dccjudgeevie@gmail.com.
Yup.
Go ahead.
Okay. From Daddy Pasta. What did I do?
That's his question?
What did I do?
That's his question?
I accidentally hit reply, then accidentally hit...
Just scroll down. It's right there. Read it. You can read it right now.
Discard. Okay, we're back. We're back. Okay. What character of yours would make you the saddest if they died? That is John's voice, by the way, if no one
Okay.
knows what it sounds like. It sounds like this.
So what character would make you the saddest if they died?
Okay, well, it's between Teddy and Betty, because... Teddy and Betty. Because those are the only, like, two big characters I have.
Okay, it's fair.
It would probably be Betty, because Betty's a legend.
Teddy's going to end up being more powerful than Betty soon.
I know, but Betty's a legend.
Okay. That's...
And Betty has, like, a cool, like...
So Teddy, just
aesthetic.
for our viewers who don't know, Teddy is your cleric in our Xcrawl game.
Yeah.
And Betty was the cleric, was the wizard. Is the wizard in our other game.
Yeah.
The original Shrubs.
Because Betty looks snazzier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question. So that means that we want to have a TPK in that game so that character can die.
No.
So we'll have a TPK in this game.
No.
You love TPKs.
Yeah, when I do to other people.
Speaking of TPKs, I have a question for you.
Why is it... What is that, like, referred to? You're, like, speaking of... That's Susan.
Okay. If we
Speaking
were
of-
going to play something after DCC, what would you want it to be and
Shadow
why?
of the Demon Lord.
Why Shadow of the Demon Lord?
Because it sounds snazzy, and you build it up to be this big thing.
It is a
And-
big thing. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, you build it up and like, oh man, it's so amazing, so amazing, but you can't play it.
You can't play it.
Well, it's just, no, you have to let me play it.
I guess I could let you play it. The challenge would be that we couldn't play it with your friends.
Why not?
Because they would need to have their own rule books.
Why?
Because they would. I mean, I guess we could do a one shot to try it out, but the game itself, like the book, has got some very mature material in it. And some very terrible spells. Like spells that make you poop yourself to death.
Well, I've heard about that one all the time.
And there's like nudity in the books, and that's not something I want to be dropping off books with like pentagrams, well, upside down pentagrams, and images like that, and drop us off to your friends, because I'd probably be the one having to buy the books. I am excited to say that in the fall, Rob Schwab, who did Shadow of the Demon Lord, is kickstarting Shadow of the Mad Wizard, which is going to be a more traditional fantasy system. Well, it's the same system as Shadow of the Demon Lord. They're compatible, but it's more of a traditional fantasy setting. And yeah, there's a spell, Josh, a dysentery spell. It's called Hateful Defecation, where if you cast it on someone, they literally puke and crap out their organs to death. It's a game that has insanity and corruption. It plays in 11 parts. You play it, I've talked about before on the channel. You play 11 games, 0 to 10th level. It could be 11 sessions. We're doing it in our weekly game, which is going a little longer than weekly. On my Saturday morning game, our Coffee with the Demon Lord campaign, it'll be over like 22 sessions. And, you're like, I'm sorry. All of a sudden I'm tired. It lets you tell a complete story arc quickly, and it has unlike DCC, is a very customizable way you build a character. You have every character has 3 classes and an ancestry. They were on top of this whole referring to different like whether you were a species, whether you're an orc or an elf or a human. They were on top of calling it ancestry, not race, before it was even pointed out. So I got to give Rob Schwab some credit there for really separating that out, and seeing it as the problem that it is. But you pick your ancestry, and then you pick your novice path, which is like a warrior or magician. You get an expert path at level 3 and a master path at level 7. So you end up having 3 paths at the end of your character's life or career. And the customization is amazing. Kind of like on par with what Cypher System does, except for it's more designed to handle fantasy. I don't know, it's a great game. I'm in love with it. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite games. maybe a one-shot, but it would be really hard to do a campaign with your friends. As much as I think I could definitely see your friends casting a spell making someone crap themselves to death.
This sounds like right up their alley. This entire game.
Nice, Rob. I'm gonna repeat that one. All right. So that was all right. We'll talk about that. Let's talk about Grimtooth Trapsylvania.
Oh,
traps.
No, don't bring it back. Don't bring it back.
Here's the map of Grimtooth Trapsylvania. So if you don't know what Grimtooth Trapsylvania is, it was a Kickstarter from Goodman Games that they did a couple years ago. And
it's coming back.
You know, it was published by Goodman Games. It was by the folks. Art was S.S. Crompton, and it was published by Goodman Games under the license from Flying Buffalo. So I believe the folks that put this together were some of the folks that came up with the original Grimtooth material from years and years ago. And what this is imagine a place you could visit where everything is just traps and horrible, and just everything's gonna kill you, from the bathrooms to the museum to the petting zoo. It's all going to kill you. And at the end of our, 2 games ago in Xcrawl, is it available for retail? Yes, it is. It is available for retail. Yep. At the end of our Xcrawl game, the characters got TPK'd when they all got their consciousnesses. Their consciousnesses were uploaded
We're not dead.
into a video game based
uploaded.
on Grimtooth Trapsylvania.
We're not dead. We're not dead. No.
So now that you spent your first session in Grimtooth Trapsylvania, what do you think?
Well, we're gonna be in there a while because we're stupid, and we don't know how to think things through, and it's terrifying, and we're probably gonna all die. But we're gonna stay positive, and we're only gonna say that some of us are gonna die instead of all of us are gonna die because we're thinking positive.
I thought up a way around this whole character death problem too with
Really?
this. Yes, to make this more fun and interesting.
What?
That's why we're using save points.
Oh yeah.
It's a video game, and my eldest figured out how to hack the game already. In fact, I gave their halfling the abilities of the console cowboy class from the Cyber Sprawl Classics book, which they'll permanently have, which would be cool to have a hacker in the party. Now, they can't use it as an Xcrawl battles, but they could use it outside of Xcrawl battles. But I let them access a save point system, and how save points work, it's a new mechanic I came up with, is I carefully track on a separate sheet what happens in the game, and if they ever engage their save point and go back to it, they lose all the progress up to that point. Also, they don't know this yet, but I guess 2 of them will, because one's watching the show and one's here, but their save file can get corrupted. Corruptioned, right? Corrupted. So if you ever need to use that save file, it could mean that maybe your characters glitch a little bit. They already gained mutations coming to the game. I let every player roll on the mutations chart from MCC.
I can stop time.
You have a time stop ability.
Stop
Very
time.
useful. Let's talk about what happened to
in the shower?
Bab in the bathroom. You can tell the story.
Bab in the bathroom.
So the quest was that, what was it?
We
Tylo Sven, right?
Yeah.
Tylo Sven, the emo bartender.
Yeah.
That's
we had
based
to get
on
his sleeping bag.
That's based on, what's his name?
What?
What's the guy's based on?
I don't know any emo bartenders.
Tylo Sven. What's it based on?
Stop talking. Okay.
What's
so
it based on?
Shush your mouth.
What actor is
This
it
is
based
an
on? I
insult.
can't remember.
Stop it. It's an insult to Adam Driver. Stop it.
Adam
Okay.
Driver
Stop it.
set you on a quest to go get
Stop it.
his
Stop it. Okay.
sleeping bag.
So basically, we had to get the sleeping bag, and the sleeping bag was in this. Where was it at?
It was at the dwarf house, because
It's the dwarf house.
he's a dwarf.
And it was in the shower.
Tylo Sven.
It was in the shower. Sleeping bag, and it was gross. And so Bab or Justin went into the shower to get he went to the bathroom.
Went to the bathroom.
To get the sleeping bag, but then the bathroom had like
plexiglass door.
Plexiglass door, but it covered everything up, and then we had to like get rid of it because it was filling up with water. And everything we did failed. Basically, what did work? What got it?
I believe there was a trap on the outside, like a thing, a button to push.
Oh, but yeah.
So they didn't get TPK'd by that scene. They got TPK'd when they got into the adventure.
How would you say that to him about him?
You guys
what do you mean figures?
I think it proved a point that everything is deadly in this game. And they spent one whole session just in the little harbor, in the port town. This is going to take forever.
Were we not supposed to take that long in there?
I bet you this is 10 sessions to get through this place.
10 sessions?
That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
How long did you think it was in it? How far were we supposed to get?
I thought it'd be 3 sessions.
How far did you think we would get in the first game?
Further than you got.
Like how much further?
I thought you get further. I don't think I think it's gonna be a while. We only play 90-minute games too, though. Sometimes
true.
2 hours. So anyway, so we'll see. We'll give updates as that game goes on. So let's move on to our next segment here. Featured charity for good this week is Feeding America. You can go to www.feedingamerica.org. With COVID-19, more than 54 million people may experience food insecurity. 18 million of them are children. This is definitely a charity everyone can get behind. One of our first events that we did this year for charity was for Feeding America. So please go get behind them and share that link with your friends and family. We have a question here. I'm going to jump off for a second. Question for Judge James. You're very vocal about your post-blogging lifestyle, but do you have any advice for folks that want to write besides don't do it?
No, he said fools, not folks.
What?
He said any advice
fools.
for fools.
Okay, I'm sorry. Advice? Well, I say post-blogging lifestyle because I'm done blogging for a while.
Wait, you've just told people don't do it?
No, I mean, I'm just saying I don't do it anymore.
Oh.
I'm very happy I did it, but I don't do it anymore. Keep a schedule when you're blogging. I would do what I didn't do, and that is plot your blog's posts out. Keep your blogs to a manageable length. My blog was designed in a way that made it challenging to keep up with because it was every adventure I ran, I blogged the recap of what happened. That's what I wrote, and that got to be, some of those were like 1,500 to 2,000 words. Keep it short, keep it sweet. A great blog to read, honestly, is Mark Plord's blog, which is inspstrikes.blogspot.com. Definitely check it out. You can search Inspiration Strikes and Mark Plord, but his blog is awesome, you know. Rob makes a good point. Do it for your own enjoyment. Don't do it for profit. You should be disappointed and broke. I never monetized my blog because, number one, I didn't want to step on toes with issues about, could I talk about like intellectual property or IP rights issues. The other thing is that once you start focusing on writing something on there that is going to generate revenue, you will start thinking of things in different ways. It's not about your enjoyment. It's about, writing to see what gets hits. And I was doing that for a while, even without any kind of profit or dollars. I was just, what gets me the most hits. And I think I was the least happy as a blogger when I was writing posts just to see what we get, like what's controversial. Like when I wrote about how much I love 4th edition D&D, which was true. I knew it was controversial at the time, and I wrote it anyway. It's also began my 4E snark phase. I think I wrote why didn't I play 5E blog post also that got me some snark back. I don't know. Just write what you want to write about and keep up with it and release content regularly and share it. And don't, the one thing I will say that I got into trouble with very early on, because I learned this lesson very quickly, was don't spam your blog everywhere. like I did that originally. I was on Google G Plus. I put it in every group. You know, I throw it up on like on Facebook. I throw it everywhere. You know, and if you got some groups to share it with, share it there. But share it in groups that you're talking in already. Like you shouldn't share it in a group where the only thing you're doing there is sharing your blog. You know, you should be part of that community. You know, not just sharing the blog to share the blog. So that's my pitch on how to blog. You'll be a better blogger than I am because I suck. No Kickstarter shoutouts this week. If you got any for us, please send them to us. You can send them to Judge Evie, dccjudgeevie@gmail.com. Road crew shoutouts all I have right now is just to ask the community, what are y'all doing for Gen Con Online? It's a month away, right?
Oh my gosh, it's a month away.
Yeah, I'm doing things just off the books. I'd be interested to hear what you're doing. If you have any kind of events that you'd like to share, send them our way. We will talk about them, okay? We'd love to hear about those. And Deb said, excellent charity to highlight this week. That's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thursday night reviews, again, they're on hold indefinitely until I kind of get my week together. Where to find us elsewhere, Judge Evie, where can they find us?
At I Live for Crits on Twitter, Living for Crits on Instagram, and search Living for Crits on YouTube. Yeah. Do that.
So I will, maybe we'll do something special where, so next weekend I'm running one-shots of Shadow the Demon Lord on Saturday and on Sunday. Maybe I will consider at some point running a one-shot Demon Lord game for you and your friends to try. That won't be scary. All right, folks, stay safe, stay healthy, stay together, and for my outro ASMR, wear a mask, damn it.
Okay, all mine's... Stop using my brush. Dad, stop it. Stop it.
I like this brush.
No. Stop using it.
Bye, everybody.